Hi, Sharon Brennan here, Cottage Lane Stamper. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from the United States, and today I'm going to make a card for you with using the Jar of Flowers stamp set, which is a new stamp set from the 2020-2021 annual catalog that just came out the first part of June. And this card is also bundled with a jar punch, which I'm not going to be using right now, but it is similar to something that we had in the catalog a few years ago. It's called Jar of Love. It also featured a fruit jar, but that jar was just a little bit bigger. This jar, you can also find shaker domes in the catalog that will fit with the punched out area of the jar, and you can make shaker cards with all kinds of sequins or whatever you want to put in it. This stamp set also has reversible elements to it. The solid parts of the image, these three images here, are all reversible. They are on the opposite side of the stamp, and they're all on this one smaller piece of acetate. So one side has the raised image there, and that's giving a little bit of a glare there. Sorry, I'll move that. It's got a little bit raised image there, and then when you flip it over, and if you stamp with this side up, you'll get a solid image, which could represent water, like in the jar or something like that. Or if you wanted a colored jar, you could use this one and use the back side of it. And then this image also, you can use like the hash mark on one side or just a solid border on the other side. So that's something that Stampin' Up! Has just come out with recently in the last couple of years, reversible stamps, which you get twice the usage out of the same number of stamps. So anyway, today, excuse me, this has also different kinds of flowers in it, and these are the stems, and you've got some beautiful, I think these are tulips, I don't know, maybe not, who knows. And there's some like wildflowers here, and some sunflowers, and some like roses. I like to think that these are wild roses. And anyway, we're going to use the sunflowers today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp. I've already cut out one image using my ScanNCut, stamped it in early Espresso, and cut it out with my ScanNCut, which I love. Bought it basically, it's made by Brother, to cut out a lot of images when I do my crafting in the fall. And as you can see, it will, if you tell it to, leave a margin like your framelits will. So I don't mind fussy cutting, it's just I'm not very good at it. So I like when I can just stamp these and scan out one or a bunch of images, whatever I want to do. So that is stamped in early Espresso. And I'm going to use that along with another stamped image on this piece of white Whisper White cardstock. I need to get my paper piercing mat. Whenever you use photopolymer, if you have it available, use your paper piercing mat. It gives a little bit more of a cushion and a better image. And I have ink on my hands. Oh my gosh. Sorry. I touched something. That stamp has got ink still on it. I didn't clean it off, so that's where that came from. Anyway, we'll flip it over. That'll be good. And I don't know if you know this trick. My blade looks like it's getting a little bit dull, and so there's a little bit of a ragged edge there, so I like to use this little block here. It's a nail block, and just run that along the edge, and you can smooth your edges out really well. So a little bit of a tip there. I'll brush that off. So I'm going to actually stamp this in the corner, and I think I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'll do with the leaves up like this. There, and I will get rid of that so I don't get ink on my hands again. Excuse me. There, and we are going to color this as well as the other image. So I am using Mango Melody, and soft suede, both the light and the dark, and old olive. So I'm going to color this in and then we'll be right back. And there we are. So I've got that colored in, and I'm also going to, let's see, no, I'm not going to stamp my sentiment right now. What I want to do is I want to give this kind of a weathered look, a barn look. So I'm going to use my Pinewood Plank embossing folder and slip this in here after I've finished all of my coloring. And I'm going to run it through my embossing machine. I will be right back. And I'm back. So here we are. We've got it all embossed. I can see it's kind of a weathered look. You could use a colored cardstock for this too, but I kind of preferred the Whisper White. And then I'm going to take this group of flowers and put it down next to it. And I'm going to use some of my dimensionals for that. Let's see if I find my scissors. Let me grab some. So I've got a fresh pack of dimensionals here. And I'm going to put these on the back. I like to do a lot of stamping on images and then running them through an embossing folder. I think it just gives it a little bit more character. Of course, it depends on what you're doing too, but for this one, I kind of wanted a few more flowers on this image than just the one stamped image. So I got that. And I think we're just going to angle this down here like this. And then a piece of Whisper White scrap, and I'm going to use, let's see what I do with it here. Sentiment from Pretty Parasol. This is also new in the new 2020-2021 catalog. So, and I want to use, if I can find the right one here, Wishing You Warmth and Sunshine, because sunshine reminds me of sunflowers. So, see if we can find a block here. Put this on. I'm going to go angle it, I think. So I want to make sure it all fits. Sometimes if you get these long ones, just lay them down for a second and let them kind of stretch out to where they were before. And then you can put it on your block. And then we'll bring our mat back in here, and I'm going to use early espresso for this also. Yeah, just tamp it up good. And I'm going to stamp it right there. Now I just want to, just a little tip, when using your dark rich colors like this, early espresso, rich raspberry, cherry cobbler, Mary Merlot, any of those dark, rich colors, night of navy, mossy meadow, just let them dry for a second. And let's see if I find my scissors back here. There it is, hiding under a punch. So I'm just going to cut this off here. And what I like to do for some of these banners is just make sure it's even on both sides here. And I'll just cut in a little bit, say like 1/4 of an inch, not even that, 1/8, to the center, and then I'll take my scissors and go from the corner up to that cut-in point. This is just a simple way to make a really quick banner. There. And there we have a banner for our card. And I'm going to put this down here. And I'm going to use some dimensionals for that too. Let's see what I do with them. There we go. And we're just going to put this right here. There. And then I like to use up my retired things, so I found these little epoxy raindrops and little clear circles. So I'm going to take my, if I can find it here, my trusty old paper piercer, and just take a few of these off here and put them on here. Now I could use my take-a-pick tool, which I might have to haul out. Let's see. Put one there. Put one there. Just to give a little added interest to it. Then I have a piece of crushed curry, and it is, I believe, let's see, this is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, and we're just going to put that right behind here. I have my new Stampin Seal. This came out, this new catalog. This replaces our snail. And when you're adhering something that's been embossed like this, I use a lot of extra because there's so many, because of the texture, there's not as many surfaces that will touch the card. So I like to use a couple extra pieces. And we're just going to center this right on here. And I have a piece of cardstock that's 8 1/2 by 5 1/2, and it's scored at 4 1/4. And I'm just going to set that aside while I find my bone folder here. I had it here a minute ago. There it is. Buried. I'm just going to give that a nice sharp edge there. And then we'll take our Stampin Seal again. And you don't need a hard touch for this. We're just going to center that on this. And there you are. Really a fairly simple card if you don't mind fussy cutting. It goes together pretty quickly. It's a little bit of coloring, and coloring is relaxing, and we all can learn to relax, or need to relax a little bit now during this pandemic. So anyway, it looks like I got that on there crooked a little bit. Let's see if I can get this off. I didn't stick it on very well. Let's see. Just a little crooked. I got all at my corners. There. If I match this one and this one, then they're usually pretty good, and I didn't do that. So anyway, just a real simple card, something to brighten somebody's day. And I hope you enjoyed this. If you do, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my YouTube channel and my blog, which is cottagelinestamper.blogspot.com. And you can buy the supplies at my store, which is SharonBrennan.stampinup.net, and I'll put that down here. So anyway, thanks for stopping in. I do appreciate you, and may take care and may God bless. Bye.